Okay, well, I think we should start it off so far because it's still going on. The DNC. Right now, we are in day 3 of the Democratic National Convention going on in Chicago. However, day 1 and 2 has passed already. So what do you think so far of the DNC going on now?
Well, me personally, I'm energized. Because you remember about a month ago, I wasn't energized.
Yeah, because Biden was in power.
Exactly. And I'm really energized because if you really look at the DNC the first 2 days, there had some personal touches to each state and what would they represent about. Especially when they did a roll call. The roll call was awesome last night. Something different. It tells you that they're trying to appease to the young voters as well. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole atmosphere was live. I mean, I couldn't even,
Yeah, so we can start with day 1, which was pretty tame, featuring Joe Biden coming up, and it was basically his departure speech. A lot of ass kissing day 1 with Joe Biden. A lot of thank you, Joe chants.
Thank you for getting the hell out of the way.
Thank you, Joe, for getting the out the way. That's what they really wanted to say, but they shortened it to just thank you, Joe. So there was a lot going on with Joe speaking, giving his political exit speech, still throwing shots at Trump because, Joe is like that. He's petty as fuck.
I mean, Trump petty too, so he just now getting back at his ass from the damn debacle debate.
Well, now,
you can't get him mad at him for
now since it's over, I can say whatever the hell I want to now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's over now, so I can really let him know what I think about him. No holds barred. And that's what the DNC really was, like with the Obamas when they spoke. The Obamas let you know what they really thought about Trump.
Yes, and that was on day 2. But day 1 also featured a surprise visit by Kamala Harris. She was in the building. It was an unscheduled appearance, and she was there to pay tribute to Joe Biden. Again, day 1 was ass-kissing Joe Biden. So
he deserves it, though.
Thank you, Joe, for getting the
out the way.
But nah, Joe deserved it. Because, see, where we downplay is he was the one who was Obama's vice president, the black man who people never thought we'd see in office. So they never thought a black person would be in. Okay. So he was the vice president to the black man that we never thought we'd see in office. So we do kind of owe Joe that praise.
What, for being number 2?
I mean, it takes a lot. You have to hold a certain place because, like you say, you're breaking through ceilings.
Everybody has a position to play. You know what I'm saying? So, whether it's 1 or 2, neither position is weakened. You need one or the other, and go hand in hand for it to make it work. So, it's just all about how you look at it. If you looking at it like I'm second, then to me that's, no offense, that's a feeble way of thinking.
That's what the vice president is, number 2.
Yeah, but he took that to become number 1. So Joe deserved his flowers.
Yeah, he did.
He definitely deserved his flowers.
Father Time just tapped him on the shoulder and just told him, hey, you need to get the hell out of the way. That's all.
Such is life. You know what I'm saying? And the Republicans are still haven't figured out a way to rebound from that.
They can't rebound because the playbook was in play. They was going to attack his inability to fire back, give the barbs and stuff like that.
Which he had no problem doing. I don't know what medicine they gave him.
He had rest, man.
Nah, they gave that nigga some pills. They gave him a line.
But like I've said before, though, like when we're talking about these men, Trump and Biden, as much traveling as the president does, they be high. They be high. No, they be drugged up. They be super drugged up. To keep these old men up like this, you travel in time zones. You see what I'm saying? So to keep these older men up like this, they're drugged up.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, because
they're drugged up.
I'm agreeing with you because I'm trying to remember what exact president. I want to say Nixon. It probably was older than that.
Reagan,
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, used cocaine.
I bet they did.
I think he had.
It had nothing to do with politics.
His nasal, it's something about an infection in the nose, something like that. Anybody that's out there, please fact check me. But I want to say he had something to do with his nasal passage, and he had took cocaine.
All I was saying was that
cocaine was raw diggity back then.
All I was just saying was like to keep these old men up, doing all the traveling that they do, they got to be on drugs, heavy drugs. But
Heavy drugs.
Let's go.
That's why they got the doctors attached to their asses all the time.
Yeah, gotta keep them up.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on day one, there was also talk of Hillary Clinton greeted with an applause. She delivered her speech, hoping
that was more than applause. I mean, that was like a 5-minute standing ovation. And shit.
Yeah, so they stood up for Hillary. So she was talking about cracks in the glass ceilings and being the woman president. Hillary got some hate in her heart for that shit because she was supposed to be the first.
Of course, but you can't. Hey,
I know you want to put party over everything, but on a personal note, you got to feel some sort of way.
She fumbled the bag, though. She fumbled the bag. She did.
No, there was hot sauce in the bag. That's why she lost.
I don't think necessarily that she fumbled the bag. What was the big scandal?
Oh, she fumbled the bag.
What I'm saying is this: what was the big scandal at the time?
She was unlikable.
That as well, but
they
kept screaming about what? Emails,
yeah.
But
Hillary's emails
that have never came out to this day.
Yeah, it was Benghazi BS.
Yeah,
emails, but that wasn't really what hurt her. What really hurted her, because if you notice, right, you didn't look at. I'm about to give you the breakdown, the parallel of this. When Hillary was talking, right, where was excuse me. I'm about to fast forward a little bit.
Go for it.
When Obama was once she had took the nomination, where she was at?
Wasn't she in Milwaukee?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Why did Hillary lose the election? She never traveled to Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
She never went to Wisconsin. And the Wisconsin, that's why Kamala got Tim Walz on her ticket. Because why? That's the blue wall right there. So Hillary didn't. So if you see the parallel, right?
I kind of want to agree with that, but then I'm like, just because they don't go directly to your state, it plays some part in it. But like I say, I still believe because of the emails, because you're basically calling the woman a liar. So you're waiting for these emails to come out. That was a big part of why a lot of people didn't like her.
I'm not agreeing.
Because they thought that she was two-faced.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. That played some part, but what really hurted her was the fact that she did not. She bypassed Wisconsin, and I'm about to put the cherry on top to back up what I'm saying. If you looked at what happened tonight, I got to fast forward a little bit. When Clinton was talking about it, right? Clinton was like, you can't get too high on your horse and get too comfortable as if it's pretty much the win is in the bag.
Yeah.
And if anybody remember, the Clinton campaign, they was like, oh, Trump, him and what he doing. They just thought they had this in the bag. And by her not, including the emails, by her not traveling to Wisconsin and the arrogance of her campaign, that's the reason why she lost.
Yeah.
So Clinton, her husband, highlighted that too. Like, hey, y'all, don't get too high on your horse. Don't get comfortable. You feel what I'm saying? We still got work to do. So
he was low-key dissing his wife.
Right. So all of it played a factor. But like I said, I'm just pointing out 3 factors that happened presently that's coincide what I'm talking about, of like why Hillary wasn't the first one.
And I just want to throw that white women didn't support her.
No, they did.
No, they didn't.
It's not enough.
No, they didn't.
I said no. I'm agreeing
No, I
with
was
you.
talking to Dub. No, white women didn't support her like she needed them to.
Oh, yeah. Not like she needed them to, but she did have white women support. But also, in addition to day one, there was an additional ass kissing to Jesse Jackson as they tried to link Kamala Harris's legacy to Jesse Jackson's legacy. As you remember, Jesse Jackson was presidential candidate in 84 and 88. And Democrats credited him with blazing a trail for Barack Obama to win the White House and for Kamala Harris to become the first woman of color nominated for the presidency. So they wheeled Jesse out at 82 years old. He's suffering from Parkinson's disease.
Did they also honor Al Sharpton as well?
Yeah, Al Sharpton was there because he's like, Jesse ain't gonna steal my spotlight.
Too, didn't he? Al Sharpton ran for president.
Yeah,
too,
but it was less serious because he had a perm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he Dub's 100% right because you can't vote for this. Like,
a presidential perm.
But, I mean, why not? I mean,
but
Trump
they get their flowers though.
Nah,
they get
Trump's hair it's fucked up, but it's natural.
I don't know that.
I mean,
how do you equivalate? I mean, his shit was natural. He had a perm. His shit
that ain't a perm. Ain't natural. You got to sit. You got to go to a salon
to the side. That's all it was.
You got to have a presidential salon that Sharpton won.
I mean, I get it, but it's still his hair at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but I mean, it's process.
We didn't take it.
Trump is a white version of process.
We didn't take them serious, but they get their flowers for even being considered.
They jumped out there.
That's a big thing to be even mentioned in the realm of being president. So they deserve their flowers.
Being able to do something when people say you can't do it or you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's always a plus. But in addition to day one, it looks like Gaza got little attention inside the DNC hall. No mention pretty much of a lot of the protests that are going outside of the DNC, pro-Palestine protests.
They got they got through some security and had to come back and reinforce it.
Yeah, so there's been little talk inside of the DNC in regards to the Israel-Palestine conflict. So a lot of people were upset and disappointed at that, but it's the DNC. They're trying to focus on all the positive things like policy, hope, and future, and not the reality, which is kind of fucked up we're living in now.
Right, and then also too, you got to walk a fine line when talking about stuff like this because
the wrong thing and everything shifts.
We listen.
You say the wrong thing and everything will shift.
Everything is considered anti-Semitic. You know what I'm saying? So let's just call it like it is. And then outside of that, there's some powerful political PACs out there got some money. We ain't got to. I ain't got to. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
They got some money out there, and they really putting them in. Cause why? Who in Missouri? One of the candidates. She was part of the
what? The DNC.
No, she was part of the what's the group they call the women's in
hoes.
Yo, it's I forgot the name women group, but anyway,
I'll find
this pack that I'm talking about. They got her defeated.
No,
so,
Yeah, so
you gotta be careful about stuff talking about like that.
Yeah. So day one of the DNC was just pretty much thank yous, ass kissing, blah blah blah. Yeah,
move.
Yeah, get out the way. So that's what day one was. Now day two is when the real shit started.
Yeah,
that's when the mudslinging began.
Yeah, we had the Obama.
No. What was it? The roll call they had.
Oh, roll call. Yes. I love that. That was very.
So what was it? It was like the DJ, gay DJ was playing.
Oh, come on, man.
He was. What was his name? DJ Bussyfoot?
No, man.
I have no idea what the DJ name was.
Cause that nigga had the prominent list.
I mean,
California.
Why they gotta be gay though? I mean,
that was obvious.
I mean, that's
to DJ. The DNC,
it was dope.
Is probably the biggest thing you could get as a DJ.
Yeah,
so you know what I'm saying. He
DJ Cassidy.
Yeah,
that's his name.
I'm
DJ Cassidy.
I love the roll call. So me, I'm gonna be biased. I'm a Jersey boy. So when you hear the boss, goddamn, born in USA, that's gonna be tops. But I can't front though. You got some tough ones. Georgia, they came out with goddamn Lil Jon on that shit.
I mean, but like Trump can't use anybody's music though. So.
Exactly.
I know nobody.
Nobody. And that
Like,
was
so
that was
he
crazy about it.
can't use
'Cause
nobody's
everybody that Trump would have used, every song that Trump would have used, it was being used. In
Can't do a
DNC.
roll call like that because you
do
can't
it.
use,
And look,
use the music.
And if you looked at the RNC, because I did look at the RNC, and we're gonna talk about crowd size, people. 20 more million people looking at the DNC.
Damn, 20 more million.
20 more million.
20
I ain't even
million
gonna
more.
front. I was energized. You know what I'm saying? I love the personal touches to each state and everything. And
It's
hold on. First of all, we got to see which state had the best theme song.
Probably Georgia. Georgia and Minnesota.
To me, it's
Yeah,
like this.
yeah,
It's like
New Jersey had the worst.
You crazy as hell.
Yeah. I don't know.
Boss born in the USA will never be.
That
the
was
worst.
the only state that had to announce their pronouns.
Hey man, don't worry about. Why are we talking about Maryland? Really?
I don't care about that.
You gonna talk about Maryland? Oh, which
But
one?
see-
Cali?
No, we could go North Carolina and Georgia had the best, and Minnesota.
the thing about this is like, so we talk about the difference in the
I don't know. Idaho
conventions.
has some good ones too. Idaho and Wyoming.
The Republican National Convention is like the upscale wine taste, real snobby. You know what I'm saying? Like real,
Talking
like
down,
you know, you just want to have your face
bland,
shown there
I'm
and stuff
talking
like
at
that.
you.
Cheese, you know,
Not
shit
to
you don't
you.
eat. You know, the DNC's a party.
Yeah.
Right. It
The
was a party.
DNC's are full blown.
I know. That's how they
Party.
get your vote.
I mean, well,
They're like, policy. Let's party, nigga.
They threw policy in this. We ain't gonna do that.
I mean,
One hot sauce in every bag.
Our RNC had no policy, none.
regardless,
They didn't speak no policy. The DNC gave policy. Obama's they elegant.
people jump the policy like, but when does character play a part into anything? Character value.
I want
Character-
policies.
Character holds no
They
value.
don't care
Like you
about
want
character.
because
They want policy.
Because see, policies. If your character's trash, that means your policy is going to be trash.
I mean, we know that. But
I mean,
we know
but-
that.
but
I mean, we
if your
experienced
character is trying to get over on people, what your policy is going to be? Trying to get over
that.
on
I mean,
people.
but right now,
So.
I hear that shit.
But I'm just pointing out the obvious that people
I agree with you.
don't see. It's like policies. People talk policies, but character has to play some role in this. You want your representative to have some type of upstanding citizenship. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for people to want this other guy to represent them. It's just mind blowing.
It's not necessarily about Trump. It's about the Democrats earning a vote as opposed to just giving it to them out of fear of Trump.
But it's not even that. I just look at who it is to vote for. And it's not a fear of, it's just I hear what one person says and I hear what the other
But that's the
person says.
problem. People are voting based off a feeling. I'm down for whoever gives policies that are beneficial to the black community. If Trump were to offer those policies, I wouldn't have an issue supporting them.
Okay, what
I wouldn't
what
support
are we
him.
looking for? What are we
I'm looking for
Okay,
policies specifically beneficial to the African American
as in
community.
What?
Okay, so we can give now. She didn't direct it to African Americans, but she wanted to make sure they build more housing.
Yeah, for minorities.
For minorities, so people to be able to afford homes. So that's directed towards
Immigrants, migrants,
and minorities.
So are
Black
we looking,
people
are
could get
we-
the
So no,
crumbs.
and this is what I'm at. Are we
This is
looking
what-
for something specifically
I
for
mean,
black
that's
people,
going-
or are we looking for something that encompasses everybody that is on the lower end of the spectrum?
We need a policy specifically for black Americans because
So
what
that-
benefits black Americans will benefit everybody else.
So that's the voting rights then.
What? Voting
the
Rights Act?
The Voting Rights Act. Who-
What? The act of everybody can vote.
But who's being disenfranchised from voting? It's black. It's black Americans. So the voting rights would be specifically for black Americans. If you want to say a specific policy for black Americans, that would be the voting rights.
Because
I didn't mean cut you off.
You good.
Or the George Floyd Act. One of the two. Or the Emmett Till Act. Those are the three policies that Biden was supposed to pass.
Exactly.
So those policies, those three policies are directed for black people.
Exactly.
So any one of those three or all of the above.
Yeah. So you got to look at policies. Again, I don't know if y'all saw that video I shared about, they did a video on Southeast Asians in North Carolina. And they all got together and said they are voting based on policy over identity. So they said even though Kamala is considered one of us, we're looking more towards policy versus seeing one of us in the White House.
Of course, but so again, she's the only one that has brought out policies. Trump hasn't said nothing.
Exactly.
So if we just want to go off of face of policy, she dropping policies.
Yeah, she's dropping policies.
So if you waiting on Trump, then we only got 72 more days, 71 more days before the election. He hasn't dropped a policy yet. So automatically, by default, in my opinion, he should be losing. So basically, people's not even.
What y'all saying is people just waiting for him to say he gonna get his $1,800 again.
Right.
That's basically all they waiting for him to say.
Now Jill Stein dropped a Black Liberation Platform policy. I don't know if y'all saw that. About restoring voter rights, redress healthcare disparities, eliminate food deserts in the ghetto, in the hoods, in the water crisis, stop polluting black communities, Justice for Black Farmers Act, stop cop cities, community control of police, ban white nationalists from police, invest in HBCUs, Justice for Cancer Alley Act. And I don't know if you're familiar with Cancer Alley. It's a place in the South where lots and lots of black residents are getting cancer
and not being treated.
Yeah. And also reinvest from policing and prisons to community building programs. And these are a platform specific for black liberation by Jill Stein in her 2024 campaign. So these are some of the policies that black people would be interested in having implemented in our communities.
So what they've been talking about in the DNC up front is the voting rights, which that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one. But
of course, I mean, again, so what I'm saying is, if people saying they're waiting on policies, right? Yeah. Policies in the first 2-3 days has been pushed out there. Through the whole convention through RNC, you haven't heard not one policy.
They just waiting on Trump to say he giving them money.
That's one policy. So you got 2 months left, 2 months and 11 days left. No policies has came out for the RNC.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting on that, but I'm just giving an example of policy specifically geared towards African Americans that Kamala Harris and the Democrats could focus on. And notice Jill Stein didn't use the word minority. She specifically designated these towards black communities.
Of course, because she's able to do that because she's an outsider of the two-party system. Yeah. So when you're outside of two-party system,
you can say whatever you want because you ain't get ready to garner not near vote.
Exactly.
But
it's like it's different.
But
different.
It's not necessarily about Jill Stein. It's about setting the lead of what we want.
Got that. But she's I didn't mean to cut you off. She's an outliner party. You know what I'm saying? So you can say what the fuck you want to say. They're
when
not
you're the
taking
third party.
Right. They're
That's
not
like Robert Kennedy Jr.
What did both of them do today? They jumped out of the race and put their support behind Trump. So like, come on.
When you're a third party, you can say that because you know that you're not getting ready to get any votes. Yeah. People might write you in or something, but all you're doing is throwing the election, to Trump when you do something like that.
But I'm saying these are black issues that the Democrats could address and gain support.
True. True. Very true.
Right, but they've had mentioned that voting rights. They mentioned that, so
they were specifically geared towards black people.
The voting rights is. I just said.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just talking about one of 9, 10 issues.
Course. I mean, again, so we it's still night and day. Regardless of what you want to say, it's still the night and day. You had one party that had their convention, and you didn't hear no policies. You got another party they are currently in their convention, and they are actually putting out policies. They are.
And having a good time.
Having
a good time.
I enjoyed it. You know what? You know the best touch on this whole roll call thing? It was Texas. After they gave their history of Texas and everything, the lady, I forgot her name. Look it up for me. She was in the CBS News earlier this year because she had, Texas had banned abortions, all out abortions, and she had a pregnancy to where she couldn't keep because the baby wasn't going to live, and it was going to affect her life. Her and her husband had to leave. And Texas law saying that if you catch somebody, it can be your neighbor. That you get an abort, they can get arrested, sued, all the above. So they had to do some sneak her ass up out of state, go get the abortion and everything. And she announced that she is expecting her child, her daughter. I think she said her daughter.
I saw that at the DNC.
She said her baby in January, right around the time for the election.
I'll tell that nigga, make sure you get a DNA test. That woman going state to state. You don't know what she doing.
My husband was with her, man. Stop playing.
Yeah, you don't know. She might have slipped off and got pregnant by another nigga.
But yeah, roll call was dope. Like I said, Arkansas had a good one. California, they did. Nobody didn't peep that.
What?
So they was going in order, a roll call based off states in order. California bypassed.
Yeah, why? I didn't get it. I didn't know the order because I thought it was alphabetical.
It was alphabetical order. They did that because if you heard what Governor Newsom said, right, they the state that pretty much is going to push her into the White House and stuff like that. So they were just basically, trying to use a clout as well because she's from California.
Yes.
So they just went ahead and let them be last instead of them being near the top and stuff like that. So yeah,
understandable.
I peeped all that stuff. DNC, so if you really go back and look at the DNC the first 3 days, you can see some parallels of what's being discussed here. And like I said, if you're paying attention, this is why I always tell people history is
it's
very
the
important.
Gloom and doom scenario at the Republican convention. America's going to hell in a handbasket. The criminals is going to rule the earth. America is like being destroyed, and the Democrats are saying, look,
your freedom's going to get taken away.
The Democrats are like, look, it's not as bad as they're making it out to be. And they're right. It's not as bad as they are making it out to be.
Shit.
Look, Clinton,
it's not as bad as they're making it out to be.
No, you're right, because Clinton tonight, he said, listen, go talk to those people who disagree what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can sit there and talk, and y'all can still disagree with each other, be respectful towards each other and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go out there and reach out to them. Have that discussion. You see what I'm saying? So Clinton was encouraging that tonight and everything. So like I said, it's a straight up contrast in both parties. Straight up contrast. So you got one party that, like you said, doom and gloom. The immigrants is gonna come in.
Yeah.
Fentanyl is gonna do its thing, which people not even understand. The drug makers in our country has been pushing that shit. But nevertheless, y'all want to pay attention to that shit. But let's keep it on. Keep trying to blame it on the immigrants as if they the ones that's pushing it when our pharmaceutical companies in our country is the ones that's releasing this shit out here in the streets. You feel what I'm saying?
And making money, big time money off of it.
They
making crazy money off of it.
Then 2 doctors in LA in the ketamine case. They pushing the shit. So I was like,
they making crazy money
the
out here.
pharmaceutical companies is giving it to the doctors, and the doctors are legally pushing these drugs out here. That's how fentanyl, opioids got out here. Yeah, the criminal came in, they made their money, but it's nowhere near. Y'all forgetting all the
immigrants are the easy
target.
That's the easy target.
That's just like if you say a black man did something, it's almost like he most likely did.
It's the easy target. You see what I'm saying? And that's why, because like you say, these companies here, pharmacy companies, moving that dope at super high profits and stuff like that.
Pharmaceutical companies is the biggest drug pusher in the world. So, but that's why I was talking about last week when you hear law enforcement talk about how much they caught and all that stuff, they exaggerate that shit.
Oh, of course,
they exaggerate that shit.
It makes them look.
And
good.
look, I hope you talk about it, but did I not post her? I told you the chicken wing lady. I told you that shit.
What?
Oh, she had the drug.
Oh yeah.
I told you
she had the drug habit.
She was really giving that shit up.
She had a gambling habit.
No, she didn't.
She
did, but she
had a habit,
right?
And that's what led to it.
But she gave more than she got paid for, like I was saying.
But she had a gambling habit.
It was still 1.5 million.
It wasn't, man. That shit wasn't no 1 point. I told that shit about half that shit, bro.
Chicken wing
that
queen.
Shit about like 600. Shit, you got a ketamine queen over there in fucking LA and shit.
I mean,
and look, y'all been reading up on that bitch?
Who, the ketamine queen?
No, yo, that bitch is yo.
Isn't that the one who got arrested for Matthew Perry?
Yeah, but they ain't the only time that she got knocked off.
Oh.
No. We'll get to that. We're gonna finish the DNC. Second.
Okay, but in addition to the roll call on day 2, we did have speeches by Michelle and Barack Obama, who decided not to take the high road, and they started slinging in the flood. Both Barack and Michelle. Barack had to check Donald about size.
Do something.
Well, yeah, don't boo, vote.
I mean,
yeah,
the Democrats always have a fighter's chance because as long as the Obamas. Hooks.
But what's the parallel of President Obama getting at Trump?
What, Obama getting at Trump? Yeah. Well, I mean, he got at Trump plenty of times.
But he's the reason why Trump ran, because when they had a corresponding meeting when Obama was president, he joked on Trump as Trump was in the audience and shit. He ragged on his ass. He ain't like it. So I mean, now, fast forward, he doing it again.
Yeah,
I think I saw something today where Trump said that he liked the Obamas. I think
Trump didn't say that.
I think I might have saw something. But
Trump hates Obamas.
He hates Obama.
Nevertheless,
that's the reason why we had coronavirus.
Exactly.
Michelle and Barack are probably the two most charismatic and talented orators you will hear.
Yes.
The way they deliver speeches,
people in the audience
is the way they deliver speeches is unbelievable.
I was inspired.
Like those might be the two best
do something
speech givers I've ever heard.
Nah,
don't complain.
Give me some speech givers who are as captivating as the Obamas. Give me
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Farrakhan.
No, in our lifetime.
Farrakhan was in our lifetime,
but
I don't know if he captivates as big as Obama because
it's not about crowd; it's about passion.
Okay, but he captivated.
But no, captivation means he's bringing in
a whole bunch
black,
of groups,
white,
other
all
groups
that.
Everybody liked Farrakhan. Bruce Willis gave Farrakhan props.
I'm not knocking.
Are we talking about the actual speech?
I'm not
speakers. Or are we talking about likability?
Speeches.
Okay.
But that goes into the speech.
It goes back to likability too.
It goes into it. Nobody's going to listen to you if they don't like you.
Well, charismatic. Farrakhan was charismatic.
Yeah, but he still all right.
The point we're saying is that Obama, he captivates a wider audience than the minister. Not knocking the minister because the minister brings in his audience.
Right.
Well, you said is captivating speaker.
But he is more captivating because he's bringing in a wider audience.
Which he expand on that. So
crowd size.
Well, shit, if we talking crowd size.
Crowd size.
Well, then shit, Beyonce and Taylor Swift are captivating speakers.
Well,
that's not.
But they're not. You know why I say they're not? Because, like I said,
Dave Chappelle is a captivating speaker.
No, they're not. They're not gonna. They're not. Their words. Their words is not gonna move you to where you're gonna shed a tear or two.
Michael Jackson made people faint.
That's because he can sing. He can dance.
Yeah, but he also talked in between songs.
But still, it ain't,
as an orator, not as an entertainer,
right?
As an orator. Now, like I said, when you gave us the minister, you gave us Malcolm X, the Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes, they were. Dr. King was definitely captivating, definitely captivating. But as Hassan was saying, in my lifetime that I can remember, nobody captivates better than them.
And don't y'all know Obama been out of office what, 12 years now?
Yeah.
12 years. He's still younger than Trump. Like, let that sit in your ear right quick. He's still younger than Trump. And so a lot of y'all, he died off, and he's still gonna be here.
And as long as the Dems can trot the Obamas out to give those speeches that are captivating, they will always have a dog in the fight.
Don't you know they can do that at least every 4 years? So they can do that at least another 4 more DNC.
And like they say, what makes the Obamas so dope is
5.
The Obamas aren't always on TV. They only come out
when it's important.
Like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, they only make their appearances when
which makes when they speak more captivating, because when they talk, all eyes and ears is on them. You feel what I'm saying?
And after the speech, like, I always understand.
Do something.
I always understand.
Michelle talking like she about to fight.
Right. Y'all, you know what? I ain't mean to cut y'all. Y'all lucky Michelle Obama is not running. I'm trying to tell you.
She wouldn't win.
No, yes,
she would.
Yeah, yes, she would.
Last night, last night was another reason why I understand why people love and would vote for Michelle Obama, because she is that captivating.
Yeah.
It's only a certain amount of people who are captivating like that, and she speaks from the heart.
She don't want to get into politics because she can't.
She already been there, and she don't want that foolishness.
I know that, but no, I'm talking about as her being the leading role. She don't want to get in that shit because she can't get as dirty as she wants to.
No, she don't want to get into it because she's already been there, done that, and she doesn't want to be in that spot.
I'm talking about outside of that. We understand she did it because of Barack. I'm just saying, if it was the reason why she won't do it, you feel what I'm saying? Because she can win. She won't do it because when she be talking about when they go low, we go higher. You feel what I'm saying? You know, she really want to go the opposite way. She just telling y'all that. You feel what I'm saying? Because you know, Michelle look like she got there. She can hurt some feelings. You feel what I'm saying? She can hurt some feelings. She don't want to do it.
She did her 8 years. You think she would want to put her family through another? That's why she won't.
Her family, the kids left.
Yeah, the kids grown.
But your family still included. Look at Hunter.
Hunter's
grown, but nevertheless, he still tied to his dad regardless.
I mean,
what I'm saying is
because Hunter was doing illegal shit.
What I'm saying is this: they did 8 years.
I get
Obama
you on that.
did 8 years. She does not want to subject herself to another 8 years of what they put that family through.
They ain't put them through nothing. They just,
the way they talked about that woman.
Of course, man. Listen, anytime you got somebody that's fierce and strong as they gonna do all that shit. They gonna talk all that bullshit because you know why? Deep down inside, they want that shit.
Nah, Michelle did her job. She gave Barack credibility.
Who wants to go through that again of another?
How she gave him credibility?
Because we wouldn't Barack if he had a white woman. That's our issue with Kamala. But Kamala wouldn't be in the spot she's in if she had a black husband.
That's deep. I mean, I don't know.
I can't. You know why I can't go down that rabbit hole because
about which one?
Either or.
Unless her husband was Will Smith.
I mean, this is the reason why you can't go down that rabbit hole because look how long they've been together. You know what I'm saying?
2014.
Who?
Kamala and her current husband.
So
10 years marriage.
The first one. What about the first one?
What, she had a first husband?
I'm asking, was that her only marriage that she had?
I believe so. I mean, I don't know her personal life. I know her husband that currently cheated on his first wife with the nanny.
Okay, well, I know the Obamas, they've been together since college. So you can't question that.
But that's what I'm saying. But still.
This is before he even thought about he was going to even run for
But
president.
still, Barack wouldn't have got, really, the DNC is about kissing black women's ass. So if Barack didn't have, if he had a white wife, the black women wouldn't have supported him. So Michelle gave him the credibility.
But we can't even go down that rabbit hole because
we can, and that's why because black women support Kamala for the same reason.
Okay, but he's been attached to her since college. So
but that's what I'm saying.
So that part don't even play. That
would have played.
I kind of see what Dove's saying though. It's definitely an interesting take.
It is.
It's really interesting.
It's real.
Take.
It's about kissing black women's ass. That's why Kamala can have a white husband. Kamala.
Again, I'm gonna say this: if they got married, like if their marriage wasn't over 20+ years, fine. I would say that. If it was at least 10 years, right, and he dated somebody that was,
I don't think length of relationship is relevant.
Why not?
Because it doesn't matter. In the eyes of the sisters, it doesn't matter if he was with them since time began. He's with a white woman. That would have immediately knocked his credibility amongst black women voters. It would have.
Yeah,
but that's why I'm not disagreeing. I'm not
disagreeing with you, but this is where I'm saying that I can't go down a rabbit hole because their marriage has been over 20+ years.
I'm saying that adds credibility too.
And this was before he even thought about like, hey, I'm gonna go run for president.
Yeah, I mean they have a legitimate marriage, and regardless of what
so your theory,
I'm saying is no matter what their marriage was, good, bad, whatever. If it was a white woman, Barack would have not been president.
So why Kamala get the pass and she got a white man?
Because it's about appeasing black women. Black women don't care if you got a white husband; they care if you got a black wife.
They don't care if you
No, they don't. Because a sister will get a decent-looking white Jewish lawyer. Wasn't that what her husband is? They would have wanted a guy like that.
Let me push back on that because black women don't. They the ones that don't date outside their race.
I'm not.
They don't.
I'm not going to say that.
They don't.
I'm not going to say that.
I'm going to say that.
Look at the Holly Berries, the Rachel Lindsays.
They are the minorities. A majority of black women do not date outside their race
because they can't.
They can.
No, they can't.
They can.
They can get a white guy they're not attracted to.
Bruh, black women can get any race they want to. They the most
sex.
What you mean? Outside of sex. What you mean?
There ain't too many niggas gonna be bringing a sister home.
No. I'm gonna moderate this because what I'm saying is this.
Black women is smart as fuck.
No. We're not gonna knock anything about black women.
I'm not knocking them as a whole.
Yeah, you just said they only good for sex.
No, I said to those other races.
Outside races. I'm moderate.
There are a lot of people fetishizing sisters.
That's true. Just like black men can say, you can say black men fetishize any other race.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Because I saw something to what he was saying today, and it was a white guy, and what the white guy said was this: it's not that you're not an attractive woman. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're not smart. It's how the perception of the black woman is outside of your mouth. That's the perception.
I get all that. Well,
a lot of guys, like Dove said, it's fetishized.
But that wasn't what the based off the conversation was. What he was saying was that the fact that they, number one, I was saying that they are the least to date outside their race. They don't. Yeah. Black women don't date outside their race.
Yeah.
So
the most loyal, yes.
Yes, exactly. So the fact that you're gonna say Barack will lose credibility because he dated a white woman. He would. All right, but Kamala. She's black, but she's dated a white. She's married to a white man, and she gets a pass. That don't make sense.
It makes plenty of sense because sisters will support a black woman dating a white man.
I see what Dove's saying.
A black man dating a white woman.
What Dove's saying because
how so when they don't date when they are the least.
It ain't about what they do. It's about what they want.
One thing about black people, we gatekeep very well. We tell you who is black and we tell you who is not black. and we'll accept certain people into our culture, and certain people won't be accepted into our culture. You know that.
Some folks is loosely accepted in.
But nevertheless, but that's how we are. So I can kind of see where Dub's coming from in an extent, because black women have been branded awfully.
It's one thing to be branded, and it's another thing to be facts.
I just said it's not true, but unfortunately, that's how they've been branded, and the perception about the black woman has to be changed.
So we're going to talk about the perception, or we're going to talk about the facts?
Let me run something down for you real quick, though. What is the most popular form of music right now?
Hip hop.
And who is controlling the narrative of hip hop?
White people.
Well, but the most popular hip hop artists right now are
women.
Yes. And they give off to that stereotype of how
the sexuality.
People see. You see what I'm saying? So that's
no different from a white woman doing this shit. It's no different. A white woman go out there and she shake her ass. So
no, it's a different perception. That's why you got the Hawk Tua girl getting all the. She just threw out a pitch at Mets Stadium
for saying Hawk
Tua spit on that thing.
Of course, the bar is lower. Of course, the bar is lower for white. But the point is, hold on. Of course, the bar is lower for the white people to do shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's their form of DEI and affirmative action. So
but what Dub is saying is that yes, they will come to black women. Black women can date outside, but are they going to take them serious? That's what he's saying.
Right, but if they don't date outside, it doesn't matter. If black women don't date outside their race, it doesn't matter whether somebody take them serious or not. They don't care because they're not dating you. You see? They'll date a bum until the fucking day they die. They're not going to date outside of race. Black women doesn't date outside their race like that. They don't. That's facts.
Well, I mean,
they're very loyal. Black women are
right.
Very loyal.
I'm challenging his theory. If they're loyal, right? You're saying if Barack was married to a white woman, he would have had no credibility. But here we are. Kamala is married to a white man, and she still got credibility. That don't make sense. It don't make sense. It's not gonna be one and outside the other. It's gonna be consistent.
That is consistent.
No, it's not, because if they don't date outside a race, how they gonna agree with somebody? How they gonna agree with a black woman dating outside of race?
What he's saying is the black woman is the common denominator in any of these scenarios.
We got all that shit.
Because what
it's about acceptance.
Without the black woman and it being a white woman, so now the black woman might not be so engaging with Obama. Or so many black women are as engaging with Obama because it is black love. That makes black people love them even more.
I mean, I get all that, but what I'm saying is,
so I see what Dub's saying.
I get what he's saying though, but if you're going to use that same criteria for the man, it's going to be used same thing for the woman. You cannot say the man gets held a higher.
This isn't about equality. This is about appeasing black women.
A black woman can see why Kamala married a white man. That's what he's saying.
You basically say they'll fall for anything.
I didn't say anything.
No. What he's saying is,
you can't. I'm challenging.
Okay.
If you're telling me that it's all about appease, right?
Yes.
It's all about acceptance, right?
Yes.
So Obama, black man, coming white with a white woman, he's not accepted.
Correct.
Not taken serious.
Correct.
Kamala, she goes. She's a black woman, but she has a white man, and she has more credibility than this man.
This isn't about equality.
Now, mind you, who runs the world?
Men. This isn't about equality, bro. This is about a group of people who judge niggas based on numbers, height, salary, all that shit.
So, okay.
What I'm saying is black women will accept a black woman dating a white man before they accept a black man dating a white woman. All right. That's what I'm saying.
Facts. And some sisters have a hard time with black guys dating outside of their race.
I get that.
So I understand where both of y'all are coming from, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But this leads into her husband, Doug Emhoff's speech on day 2 of the DNC, where he talked about his blind date with Kamala and how they met and how they would be celebrating 10 years on Thursday when she accepts the Democratic nomination for president.
Parallelism.
Yeah, so he was giving details about the first time they met and shit. I wanted to hear details about the first time he got that. I know, I just wanted to hear it slip. Just something he shouldn't have said.
Well, I mean, what I think about their marriage is this: like, it's kind of like America now. It's like the blended family. Like, you're not with your original partner anymore. You've moved on, and now
is hell. If you look at everybody's genetics, you're not fully black.
No, of course
you
not.
got different nationalities in you. So it's just on a visual effect. But they are representing what America supposedly look like, a melting pot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I always tell people America was not a melting pot back in the day. They used to say it, but only big cities were melting pots where everybody was together. In the country like that, you see what I'm saying?
Now, you said America was a melting pot back in that household. They were.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Only the big cities were. New York was a melting pot. Miami.
Okay, so you talking about based off cities and country life.
So now,
which it still was because you.
But now, now, America is really a melting pot because now all these races are together. Now,
actually, no, I got some pushback.
What?
Actually, America was a melting pot.
When?
Back in the day.
No, it wasn't. When America.
Well, he's talking about
a perfect example of how America was not a melting pot.
Talking about
where
the
my
country.
parents are from in the country,
in the South,
there were only black people.
So black and
white people.
Yeah,
okay,
the North
that's
was
not melting. That's not a melting pot. Now, when the Hispanics moved into it, it became a little bit more than the other.
So Indians,
but we're talking about the country as a whole.
As a whole, though.
So yeah, it is a melting pot. Just not your area.
Exactly. You had multiple nationalities here in the United States from the time that it began up until now.
Yeah, I grew up in a melting pot.
What I'm saying is,
of course, you had different sectors with segregation.
It was more
segregation.
A melting pot in the big cities.
It was segregation. Segregation. That's what you're saying. In the South, it was segregation. So all you had was black and white, and you in the North, you had all the above.
Yeah, you had different races.
Yes, exactly. So
now everybody's moved out, and now everybody's everywhere. Now it's really the melting pot.
I mean, you still got them sundown towns and shit. They still exist.
You got segregation. You got places where black people live and white people don't go, and vice versa. So
it still exists. It just,
I'm not sure.
You just got going on small towns.
Yeah, you got to stay away from the small towns.
Right. That's why for some reason I don't like driving south. I'll drive north all day, but I don't want to drive.
What's wrong with driving in the South?
Because number one, South Carolina. Well, every state going from Virginia on is legal to smoke.
Yeah,
it's going down from here down.
They will lock you up. They'll lock you up. They'll lock you up.
Especially South Carolina.
You said driving though.
Yeah,
you can't drive and smoke in any state.
Yes, you can.
That's illegal.
What you mean?
Smoke weed while driving.
Come on, man. That's just like somebody smoking cigarettes and shit.
No, it is not. You are impairing yourself. I mean, legally, you're not supposed to. I mean, we all do it.
Right, exactly. So what I'm saying is, you're not most likely to be fucked with going up north versus going down south.
True.
And I've driven as far as Georgia, Savannah.
Ooh, Georgia will definitely wrap you up.
Yeah,
so,
they'll fuck with you.
South Carolina and Georgia. So, yeah, anywhere from Virginia on, it's game time.
Yeah.
We still on the DNC?
No, we passed the DNC.
Well, no, we
are?
Well, our last bit of it was Doug Emhoff speaking, talking about Kamala, but day 2 was Kamala.
So he's the first. He'll be the first man. Is that how we'll address him?
He would be called
the first gentleman.
The first gentleman.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be called the first gentleman.
She'd be called Madam
President.
God, that's a blow to your ego as a man. I don't care how much you love
first
your
gentleman?
wife.
What you mean? Call it first gentleman?
Just being the first. Yeah, the first.
That's just like Joe Biden being the first white guy to be under a black guy.
Nah, that's not
like
the same.
You gotta be the first.
It's not the same.
That's just like Kamala.
You part
being
of history, dog.
That's like Kamala being the first woman of color.
Thing.
You have to break these ceilings. You have to break these stupid glass ceilings.
Your family's name would be etched in history for.
And she didn't even take his name.
Who?
Kamala Harris Emhoff. Kamala Harris Emhoff. She said, nah.
And she did it right.
She didn't even hyphen her nothing. She just left it alone.
She said, nah, I don't need that name.
So I need. How they gonna say Kamala? Look, you can't hardly say Kamala. They gonna say Kamala Emhoff.
Kamala Harris Emhoff.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
He just need to be happy to be there.
That's what I'm saying. You married a woman, now you the first gentleman, and she ain't even take your name.
Right, exactly. He got lucked up.
He done lucked up into being the first gentleman. Exactly. Appreciate how you got there, and just be quiet and enjoy it.
Toes every night, rub them feet. Everything. Oh, lucky motherfucker.
Yeah, just walk into talk about being. He getting flued out everywhere now.
Slide in that presidential.
Niggas need to pay attention.
That postmenopausal.
Something.
He gonna be getting flued out.
Position. Don't get overboard and jump and do more than you should do.
God, that's a blow to the ego, though.
Why?
Because your wife is the number one. She's the HNIC.
It's like being a stay-home dad almost.
Exactly.
Because you can't treat her like a wife. You can't lead her.
Yes, you can.
What?
You're crazy as hell.
What?
Nigga, that's the biggest goddamn bust down. Like, hey,
man, listen.
Yeah, and she the big
money
dog.
Money don't make you lead.
I don't give a damn how much money you got. I don't care what power position you in. If you my woman and I'm you, ain't none of that shit going on.
Money doesn't make you a leader.
In that situation.
Money doesn't make you a leader.
You mean she's getting choked in the Oval Office?
Yep. I don't know. I can't envision that shit, but I'm just saying.
I'm sure.
You don't think Doug's a shit talker?
Yeah, he probably is.
Like, come here, bitch.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, like, nah. just because she makes the most money doesn't make her the head of the household. I don't know why people get that mistaken.
You don't make a lot of money as president. I mean, you make money,
and
but
I think, isn't old boy worth like $16 billion?
I don't know.
I think her husband is worth a little money. I think he's worth a little. Well, not. Well, a little
I know
money,
he's a lawyer, so I mean,
he gotta get money. I mean,
he got at least lawyer money.
She was an attorney. You know what I'm saying? So y'all rubbing elbows. Y'all, hey, this contact, that contact.
Interesting.
Power moves.
And like Doug said, president don't make that much money. Like, I mean,
they don't.
Not compared to what salaries you
get. They only
get.
make like 100 to 200,000 a year.
Yeah, I think it might be 300.
It's like 200,000 a year. That's all they make. But they just got immense power. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't got to pay for Uber.
Pay for a goddamn thing.
No Uber, no plane ticket.
The fringe benefits are amazing.
The president coming to town. Hey, we're rolling out the red carpet for their ass.
The fringe benefits are amazing.
Because the goddamn press
get you a library, all that stuff.
You can get endorsements once you leave office. Exactly. There's no reason as a president you shouldn't be a multimillionaire.
Trump done changed the game up on that shit. That nigga was doing deals while he was in there, nepotism on the highest level. He putting his people, his sons.
That's what they do. Now, right. I'm not going to do just Trump like that because Chelsea, they were putting the Bushes like this is what
what I'm saying is he was blunt about his shit. At least they was quiet about his shit. This nigga doing deals with mother over there in goddamn Iran and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Kim Jong-un and Putin and shit.
You know, once you get in that big office, you get ready to run it up for your boys.
Yeah,
you get ready to run it up for your boys.
I mean, shit. He's sending all the diplomats to his goddamn hotel. Hey, yo, when y'all come in this country, take y'all ass to my hotel. Charge up.
So but that go both ways. Dems and Republicans. Once you get in the big house, you looking out for all your boys. We all get ready to get money.
Quiet about it though.
True.
That's all. He was being vulgar, like
boastful. But that's what Trump does. He's boastful,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta believe
people
him,
respect that for some reason. Like
because they think the bluster of him talking shit. That's just like Barack. That's like Barack talking shit. You know, like how us niggas do. We talk shit. You know what I'm saying? But he don't. He talk, his words is elegant. He talks shit by, yeah, you a fucking simp, but who gives a fuck? But you know, let's go on around.
But see
here.
that's
you
what.
know what I'm saying?
But see, that's what's going to happen when he loses. His ego is going to be destroyed.
Because she gonna kill his ass in that damn debate.
His ego is going to be destroyed.
Hey, Trump, you can't get thrown on goddamn zingers and deny what the fuck you didn't do. You better look. This when your feeble ass is about to get exposed now, goddamn.
But like they've been saying at the DNC, you gotta keep the excitement going. But at this rate that it's moving,
it's over. They had 20 million plus viewership in the RNC crowd size.
This could be a landslide possibly. I'm talking about humiliating defeat.
You're gonna lose to a South Asian black woman.
Yeah. And she can juggle back and forth between each whenever she wants to. It doesn't matter.
Like what?
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Simply Deep in the chat, who said, "Sup effing podcast."
What's up?
How's our night going? It's going pretty decent.
It's going pretty good.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Content for you, for our followers out there, you know.
I know Clinton spoke, Stevie Wonder played, John Legend.
Oprah spoke.
God, this is just like a whole boule.
All-star.
Yeah, it's featuring all your uncle's favorite artists.
Yep.
Bill Clinton spoke, Nancy Pelosi. So I haven't even been watching it because we were preparing for the show tonight. So
I went and watched the speeches from last night specifically just to see what they had to say. But AOC speech was dope. Like I say,
that was from the squad. That's the lady that lost in Missouri. She was
AOC?
part of the squad. No. The lady that lost in Missouri, she was part of that squad because you say AOC.
Gotcha.
But other than that, like, it wouldn't have been the same if Biden had been the nominee. It would not have been nowhere near what you're seeing right now.
I was energized. My heart was racing. I was like, damn, I feel like
voting.
I feel like voting. A month ago, I was like, fuck the presidency. Y'all vote local and shit. Now I'm like, I feel like voting.
And telling other people to vote.
Yeah, and telling other people to vote. Because I was damn sure up here saying, hey, vote local. But I'm changing my tune. See, look, I can be honest up here in front of everybody. I'm changing my tune. Vote. You want to be on the right? You want to be on the right side of history, or you want to be on the loser side?
Well, I don't.
It's gonna be somebody gonna lose.
I don't care who you
Harris
vote for. Just go vote.
Harris
and don't vote for Robinson. I do care if you don't vote for Robinson.
Yeah.
Like, don't vote for him.
Don't
vote for Mark Robinson. Do not vote for Mark Robinson.
Oh, yeah. And our insurance commissioner here in the good old state of North Carolina, his bitch ass need to go to.
What did he do?
He's the reason why, if you had any problem with your insurance, whether it's health, or whether it's car, you know, notice the insurance company got more power and shit. They dictate how much fault you had. I'm like, bitch, I got hit. How you gonna say I had any fault when the mother me? Yeah, that type shit. So the insurance commissioner here, he needs to go.
Just don't vote Mark Robinson.
Yeah.
Make sure you do.
Oh, that insurance
not
commissioner
vote Mark
too.
Robinson.
You need to get his ass up out of here. Real talk. Anybody who got problems getting their damn bills paid because you got to negotiate. Look, the insurance company to negotiate with the doctor, and you got to come in and mediate between the both of them. That ain't your goddamn job. Your job is you pay the insurance company. You got that card. You take your ass to the doctor. The doctor go ahead and charge that shit and keep it moving. You ain't supposed to mediate shit. Why you got to mediate it? Because the bitch-ass insurance commissioner in our state on some bullshit.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
You got me thinking that I'm going to put a swear jar up there.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a swear jar up there.
Bitch up
look, I'm going to put a swear jar.
I know I say
and
colorful.
we're going to
say colorful.
We're going to figure out who we're going to donate
this.
You
can donate to the food drive.
We're going to figure, but we're going to put a swear jar up there in the next couple of episodes because, we can't. That was one of the reasons why I was like, I don't know about going on the radio at that one time because, it might be there. But,
a swear jar is needed.
A swear jar is definitely.
Well, goddamn, they're going to get a lot of money on this.
What else we got?
Okay, so we're going to keep it moving from the DNC.